Listen.
If you do not understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Now sometimes people say, well, you mean everything that I understand will confuse me if I don't understand racism? Yes, because racism is the dominant political and religious motivating force among the people of the planet in all 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. That covers just about everything that any person, minute by minute, might be doing or engaged in any time of day or night, anywhere on the planet.
Oh, very simple. By simply realizing that you're in a system of racism and you're in captivity. Now, that doesn't say anything about you can't be dignified if you want to be, but you are a dignified prisoner of war. And what's the difference between a dignified slave and a silly one? One is dignified and one is silly. But they're both prisoners of war once they are captured. See, you're a prisoner of war. Racism is war. It's war. The greatest war that was ever conducted among the people of what we call the planet Earth. There's no war that's been greater than the establishment and the maintenance and the refinement of the system of white supremacy. It's a continuation of a war, the greatest war that ever was. That's the war between those who believe in racism and those who don't. And so far, the racists have been winning that war. So it's just a matter of the people who are the victims of it realizing this and saying, well, we're going to fight against it. But we're in captivity already, so you got to fight. There's no such thing as fighting from the outside. There's no such thing as outside. So you fight from the inside of the prison. Like prisoners of war are always trying to escape the prison. But this is a prison that you can't escape from. You have to dismantle the prison itself and replace it with a system of justice. That's the goal. And what does justice mean? It means guaranteeing that no person is mistreated and guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most, like yourself, gets the most constructive help. That's not happening in the system of racism, and it won't happen. So you won't get discouraged simply by realizing what your circumstances are, because now you have something to aim for. Get rid of the system of racism. That should be your reason for being. If you have any other priority, then it's not logical for you to be doing anything else. Everything that you're doing is supposed to be aimed toward replacing the system of racism with the system of justice. Why? Because it is the greatest oppressive system ever invented in the minds of people here on this planet. Nothing has been greater than that.
No, papi. I know black.
The white supremacists, because it's not just the white people who are not white supremacists do not have any power. They have already proven that. If the white people who are not white supremacists had power, then the white people who are white supremacists wouldn't be white supremacists, because the white people who are not white supremacists would use their power to put them out of business. They haven't done that. So it makes the white people who are white supremacists the most powerful people on the planet. Okay. And that's why we still have it. We wouldn't be having this conversation if it was different. It's no walls, really. It's just people. I mean, people changing their minds. And so it's the job of black people, first of all, to recognize that the biggest problem on the planet is the system of white supremacy, and to persuade one way or another, I say through codification, the white people who practice white supremacy to stop being white supremacists. They haven't built any walls. It's them. They're the wall. It's just what they do every day. Stop mistreating people based on color. That's all it is. All white supremacy is just a white person talking to another white person and saying, look at that person over there. And the other white person takes a look and say, yes, I see that person over there. Say, does that person have color in his or her skin? Yes, that person has color in his or her skin. Well, now, we have an agreement that when we look at a person who has color in his or her skin, that person is eligible to be dominated and mistreated by the two of us. Is that agreed upon? And the other white person says, yes, agreed upon. Let's shake hands and let's proceed to go toward that person of color and proceed to dominate and mistreat that person of color. Why? Because we have decided to do so. Now, just like they decided to do so, they can undecide to do so. Decide to do something else, like replace this system that they've set up with justice. It's the job of every non-white person and every white person who doesn't believe in that system to work every day to replace that system with a better system. That better system would be called justice. Now, some people have said they've seen some cartoons of my work on the internet that have been presented, and that it pretty well embellishes what I have been trying to say in my textbooks. And to the extent that it does that, well, that has been, from what I understand, some people reported to me, a plus. Because they didn't understand what I had written very well, but when they saw those cartoons that just repeated what I was saying and attaching my name to it, and came right out of the book, the material did, they say that they better understood it. And I can understand that because people are kind of visual, particularly in the year 2021 now, more visual than ever.